Taoist Magic Talk Show brought to you by Taoist Master Ji Sifu and King Dragon Taoism. Purang Tenjun. Welcome back to the show. This is your Ji Sifu here, right here again. Welcome to another exciting episode, and today we got some stuff to deal with. First of all, I got some disciples who are confused about some theories, such as the three treasures and why are we called Sam Law, Taoism and so on. What's the name and all that. And then I have some fans asking me about like basic concept and metaphysics and all that. So many things. So I was trying to think about how to compile them into one show to answer these questions. So today we're going to get into a serious mode. So I need you to be serious. Don't laugh. Okay? I'll try to not make jokes. But anyway, so today we'll try to cover all these topics. And one thing is that I want to bring clarity to my disciples, and the second thing is I want to make the show more juicy and meaningful, right? So it's not like, when you listen to other podcasts, it's like an entertainment. It's just like, it makes you have fun, and at the end of the show, you get nothing, right? It's like you listen to people, gossip, and then it just kind of wastes your time. And well, yeah, it's funny, like ha 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 ha, but at the end of the day, what have you learned? Nothing, right? So I want to make the show more like something you will get something out of it. Okay, so you know what? I forgot to click my timer. Let me click that. Okay, there you go, 45-minute timer. Okay, I'm trying to like shut myself when I am at the end, or else I will go on and on for 2 hours. Anyway, so let's go. First of all, let me start with the three treasures. Okay, so when we talk about three treasures in Taoism, what are we actually talking about? What kind of treasure? Well, we have two parties right here. One is you, the person, and one is the Tao. The Tao is like the source, right? The source of power. When you're a Taoist of ABC sect, your Tao is ABC, right? So you get the idea. So what are the three treasure in you? Now this is something that applies to you even if you're not a Taoist. Okay, you listen to this, it's going to benefit you even if you're not a Taoist. Okay, it works on everyone. Listen. Okay, three treasure in Chinese we call 精气神. Okay, 精气神. When we translate it into English, it is essence, energy, and power. Okay, you have essence, it generates energy. You have energy that burns and it becomes power that causes the effect. Okay, for example, you have more battery. Battery goes inside and it becomes your energy, and you burn the battery, consume it, and then it create power. It generate power, and then it powers up something, and you get the result, right? Like your smartphone is working, your appliances are going on, like that. Okay, so human being, what is the essence? What is the essence? What do you think the essence is? When we talk about essence, like I have clients who try to interpret this themselves and assume that essence is like, something inside me. It's like a substance. Okay, they feel like it's a form, like a substance, something inside them. And there are people who misinterpret this word 精 for essence as it's the sperm. So they think that by not having sex and not masturbating, and that we were like, you're not going to lose your essence, because you're not losing your sperm. That is absolutely wrong. You're totally wrong, okay? The word essence here, the Jing, is talking about your heart. Time is the essence, okay? Your heart, the stuff in your heart, your energy heart, that gives you time in here. If your heart is dried up, like you used up all the stuff in your heart, you will die. Okay? Immediately. You cannot have a life anymore. So as you live here and you can be like awake, your heart have enough juice. You already have essence. Some people are like, oh, I feel my essence is like leaking away, being drained out. You know what? You're being silly. If you can wake up and open your eyes, you already have essence. What are you talking about? Stop making up this like some excuses. You know, what you're feeling could be your body feeling weak, but that has nothing to do with essence. When you can be awake, alive, you have essence already. It's the heart having that juice inside. Your energy heart, not the organ, okay? The energy heart that creates emotion, feeling, and that stuff. Your heart is the thing, like the main battery bank. It contains your life essence inside there. The life essence is not a substance. It is not like liquid, not like blood or sperm. Not that, okay? You can say like, oh, sperm is, kind of like a life essence. Well, yeah, metaphor, right? It's a metaphor. But we're not exactly talking about sperm. When we talk about essence, it's the stuff in your heart. Now, going a little bit deeper, where does these stuff come from? Where do you get more essence? Well, your heart is like a battery. Okay? Not a battery. It's like a battery. It is being charged by something. When do you feel you get charged? When you go to sleep. Why? Because when you get tired, you go to sleep, then you feel refreshed, charged up, and you can, do things again. You have energy again, right? So when you sleep, what is actually going on? Well, I just taught my disciple today. When you sleep, your body goes into a state that allows your soul to connect, like two magnets snap together, connect with your spiritual planetary body. In Chinese, we call that the Yun San. Okay? Yun San is your spiritual planetary body. Simply said, right here in this world, you are a human being or a living being living inside a world, right? A planet, a world. There, like on the other side, like a parallel, universe kind of thing. On the other side, you is the opposite. You are the planet with things living inside you. And of course, you cannot go there with like a rocket or spaceship. It's not a physical thing. It's in another dimension. You can, however, if you're like me, you cultivate it to a certain level, you can soul travel to the Yun San and take a look. You can. It's something that is possible to be done. And I have taught disciples and trained them to achieve that. It could be done. But it's not something that, like, oh, can you give me something to drink and then I can see it? No, it's not like that, okay? It's not like that. But there are like people who I've taught, and including myself, can actually go there, soul traveling and see it. We worked with things in the Yun San. We have done a lot of stuff. We have, it's not a Yun San for everyone. Everyone has their own Yun San. So like your Yun San and my Yun San is like two different planets, two different places. Okay? So we don't share the Yun San. Yun San is like a personal thing. Okay? This planet, every day, it cycles and have its own life, going on their own time. And how that yunsan is doing, it creates some kind of energy pattern. Okay, energy with pattern maybe. Okay, and then when you sleep, your soul helps you to gather up the garbage in your body right here. For example, your fear, your stress, or maybe memory that doesn't need to be used anymore for the next day, things like that. It will gather up these things and dump it to the yunsan like a storage. So when you don't need something for a period of time, like what we say, things that we remember during our childhood, things like that, right? A long time ago. These things will be packed up as energy foam and then sent to the yunsan. And then as an exchange, the yunsan give your soul that energy with the pattern of that world from the yunsan back to you. So when you wake up, your heart is being charged by that dosage of the yunsan's energy, which we call the essence. Okay? That is the essence. That stuff goes into your heart. And then after you wake up, like the moment you open your eyes, you're awake. After that moment, one little, imagine in computer, you have one zip file, right? Now the zip file will unpack itself, will unzip, decompress, okay? And now, now that essence will turn into energies. What is the energy? Wait a minute. Before we get into the energy part, that zip file, is it clean? Does it contain virus? How much stuff is being packed inside? Well, when you wake up, everything is being affected by that package from the yunsan. If your yunsan is giving you stuff that is not clean, that is contaminated by evils and whatever things, right? You wake up and you feel like crap. So there are people who after they wake up, they feel worse. There are people who wake up, they feel better. It depends. That is because the package. Sometimes you wake up and you have such a bad day. Well, because your yunsan gave you some bad stuff for a while, and that's why you're feeling the result right now. Okay, so that little file or thing, the essence, it converts into energy. The energy, hey, or qi, okay? Hey. What is that? That is your soul energy. Your soul, wan he, okay? We talked about this a lot in the past. There are 3 different properties to soul energy: neutral, negative, and positive. It's not 3 different ball of things. It's one thing, but with 3 different little particles, with different properties mixed together. It's like how we analyze the ingredient inside a cup of water, the scientific way. And then you see, wow, so many elements, right? Yeah, like that. So there are 3 main properties. The neutral soul energy allows you to wake up and you feel you're alive. You feel the focus of life. You know what you're going to do. You know what you have to do. And there's something to do for the day. If you don't have enough soul energy, you will feel today I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Or even you have to go to work, you feel I don't know the meaning of why I'm doing this, and you want to give up. You want to die, okay? So if your soul, the neutral soul is doing fine, you still know what you have to do today, and you have direction and the focus in life, and it feels your life has a meaning. The negative soul energy helps you to think. So if your negative soul energy is doing fine, you can process information. Okay, no problem. You listen to people say something, you can kind of digest it and, no problem understanding stuff. Now, there are people who have too much negative energy. And what happens is they will think too much, overthink things. So you tell them hey, Today you look, good, and then you're like, what do you mean by Like, am I not really good? Are you trying to laugh at me? Like you overthink everything, right? That's because you have too much negative energy. Sometimes people have that issue, and eventually they will overthink things and get the wrong message. Some people overthink things and they get very sad and down because they kind of want to always like predict things or assume things will happen this way, this way, this way. And it's just like their own imagination, but nothing is actually happening yet. That's because their soul energy is like too active in the negative side. Now, the positive energy allows your body or physical element, including the organ, to move. So let's say, if you don't feel like really moving around and you feel like you want to just like sit down and such, your soul, your positive soul energy might be low. So you don't want to move around. You don't want to do anything. Some people have too much of this as well. So too much positive cause a problem because you get too hype. You're like jumping around, cannot stop yourself. And, like kids, they keep jumping around screaming and they just cannot stop, And it's so annoying, right? Because they have too much positive energy. So you see, these are the energy. Essence is the stuff in the heart. Energy is the stuff in your soul. So power, the sun, what is that? That is that is your body giving out the power, right? Your body giving out that potential power. Now, sun. How can you tell if a person has that sun in them, like the potential power? The power is not used yet. It's potential, right? Oh, it's very simple. You look at that person. Wow, he looked like very awake and alert. How do you tell? Well, you look at them and you see, they stand straight. Their eyes are big and wide open, and they talk loud and clear. That's a lot of sun inside. Because why? Now, this guy has a lot of, energy packed up, and that's why they have a lot of potential power. Very simple, right? Potential, not used yet, but you see their condition, the physical condition tells you the sun is there. Now, what happens if a person is very low in the sun, this kind of power, okay? The potential power is low. What happened? Well, you see the guy is like very tired. He's like, very grumpy, sloppy, dreadful. And he walks slow. He's like not walking straight. And you see like, wow, you feel like, you need a charge. Right? So you don't have enough energy inside. Obviously, the sun is going low. It's like you see the phone is like only left with 2% battery, you cannot play games on it, right? So the potential that you can get out of it is very low. Ta-da! There you go. So now you understand the three treasures of a human being, right? Okay, so what does that have to do with you and your life, and how does it benefit you after learning about these? Okay, so we know that you have a Yun Sun, the spiritual planetary body. Okay? That thing give you pre-heaven essence, and then like when you sleep, and then you exchange your post-heaven garbage with it, and then you wake up, that pre-heaven essence turn into energy, into your soul energy, charge up your soul, and then your soul gives your body the potential power. When your potential power is about to die off, don't have any more, then you just need to go back to sleep, and then you have more, stuff coming down from the Yun Sun. And it's basically a cycle, right? In a human way, very simple way of saying it, it's like your Yun Sun gives you power. You use it here, and then the power is gone, then you sleep again, and you get more, and then, keep going like that. Wait a minute, there's a problem. So the Yun Sun keep on giving us power. Where does it get its power? Where does your Yun Sun get feed? Like, how does it get fed? How do you feed the Yun Sun? You might want to know because, you keep getting stuff from it. So where does it get stuff from, right? It gets stuff from you, and the other yun san that is related to you, such as your mom, your dad, your wife, your children, and oh, not your children, your wife, yes, not your children. Your children actually sucks from your yun san because it's like counting by the order. When you and the other side are kind of equal on the same level, okay, then the yun san is kind of at the same level. You guys kind of share. You have like, it's like there's a bridge and you guys kind of share the stuff. You and your wife, that kind of thing, right? But if you and your parents are older, their yun san is higher up. So their yun san also flows to you, while your yun san will flow something to your children. So you see, there's also something going on in the pre-heaven side. It's like, imagine planet and planet. They have cables linking up. Imagine that. And the cable allow the stuff inside the planet to kind of flow to the other side, and then the other side, flow to the one lower, like that, right? So your yun san, your personal planetary body, gets stuff from you here in your life. Every day when you sleep, you feed something to the yun san, but that is not it. There are also other yun san that feeds you, including your parents, your family, relatives who are higher than you, older than you. Their yun san will also feed to you. So that means some people, like, they are doing fine, but their parents are being cursed and having such a bad luck. Their whole life is bad, like from whatever year, from then on, they got cursed, attacked by something, and then they just go downhill in life and like they just never pick up, right? Your parents are like that. If they don't get fixed, even you do very well, okay? Your yun san will have their crap flowing to you from time to time. And then that means your yun san is going to be damaged by their stuff. So you are actually not going to get as much as you should be because your parents are doing damage to you at the back because they don't fix their problem. Okay. So that's one thing. Another thing is, if you have children, your yun san feeds the children because your yun san actually have to like give birth to your children's yun san as well. Like it has to give something to make that yun san, the new yun san for your children. So your yun san feed your children. If you have too many kids, that's a big problem because it's like you're trying to feed a lot of things with one planet, and eventually your planet gets dried up. So you see, like back then in China, there's like a lot of kings that have lots and lots of children. They have lots of women, right? Well, you have so many women, so many children. One yun san, one planet feed like 100. It's not possible. So eventually you get dried up and a lot of bad stuff happen to you. Now, you see, how do we feed the yun san better? Well, we cannot control the part on the other side, like your parents and such like that. We cannot control that, right? So what can we control is what's here in this world. You accumulate things throughout the day. And what is actually being like going back into the heart is like the memory. You have seen, heard, interact with things, right? So if you don't want your yun san to have like all the bad stuff, you want it to have good stuff, then you want to see, hear, and interact with good things that actually can benefit the yun san. What is that? Well, things that make your heart happy. Living a life that actually feels fulfilled. You want to eat well, rest well, not just like every day, stressed out at work and that's it, You want to have a better life. You want to be more fulfilled for yourself. Live for yourself, right? That is going to help. However, some people already did that, and it's still not enough. It's not enough to change their life, because what is at the back, like the family stuff, the relative stuff, is so bad that they just cannot overcome that problem. Even they have been doing well. Then what do? Well, this is why you want to become a Taoist, because as a Taoist, you're supposed to have the Tao as part of the big source that fuels your Yun San. The Tao is older than you, right? The Tao's energy will go into your Yun San and feed your Yun San if you actually cultivate it. So having the Tao as a new source for your Yun San is actually a way to improve your life, because it's like your parents, your relatives are like draining you out and doing damages to your Yun San, right? Well, the Tao can patch it up, can add more stuff and pack more stuff in, so you don't lose that much, right? Even they're taking. And of course, eventually you can fix it as well. But that takes some time. So talking about the Tao now, as a Taoist, there are also 3 treasures from the Tao. So my disciples, if you're still listening, right? The 3 treasure that you're being given as a Taoist. Dou Ging Si. Okay, the first is Dou, the Tao, which is like the Tao as like when you ordain, okay, the Tao, the gods have given you a way that like when you die, you know where you're going. There's like this, quote, quote, Tao heaven, okay, where you are going after you're dead. You have a destination. For us, the Samlo Taoists, you go to Dai Lo Tin, right, where the God is. So that is basically like, when people in Christians say they go to heaven and meet up with their God, right? Yeah, similar idea, but not the same family, okay? So you have a way, okay? You have a way, you have a place to go. So when you're dead, you have a place to go. That's the first treasure. The second treasure is the Ging. Ging is like translate to scripture, but it's more like the tools, the methods, and the knowledge, the content that you can learn from the lineage. These things are treasure because they're like a big toolbox. When you face any hurdles, hardships, problems in life, you can use these to solve the problems. So like how we learn Taoist magic, and then, when we actually have problems, or our people, like our friends or family have problems, we can use the magic for them, right? So like that is the second treasure. And the third treasure, which is one of the most important, is the master Si. A master, there's a few master. First one is me, right? The human master. So I'm here to pass on the stuff to you, as well as give you guidance and teachings. Teaching means that I'll poke your butt. Not poke your butt. I'll poke you everywhere. Not just the butt, okay? Everywhere, just to make sure that you have something done wrong. I'll poke your flaws and make you realize that, hey, you have something to improve. I'll be there to like bitch at you when I need to, because then you will know what to change, what to improve, and so on. There's some, like, you just need that someone there to give you a whip when you need the correction and such like that. And also, when you face problems, I'm here to teach you how to deal with it, so that you don't have to wander around yourself and try to figure out what to do. Because there's like me here who are experienced, and I just tell you, hey, you know what? Do this, do this, do this. You follow the instruction, you do it, the problem is solved, right? So just follow the instruction, do it. And then you learn, and later on you get more experience, you can help the others. Now, there are also other masters that we talk about. There are 2. One is, like both of them are actually the gods. Like they're not human, they're gods. Okay? One we call the Yam Si. The Yam Si is like the spiritual teacher. That one is the God that we put inside you when you're ordained. So there's a God that stays inside your body, and you can call it up when you need, and so on, using the heart spell. These gods inside you will try to help you as well. Help to guide you and give you advice and so on. And there's also one more, which is the God that stays at your altar when you build your altar. And that God is also one of the master that helps you and guide you all the time. So as you learn how to communicate with the God, how to use your altar and such, you'll learn how to communicate with these gods. They will give you help. They will give you guidance. They will give you like whatever you need when you do magic, right? So that is what the seed, the master, is all about. So the Tao has the three treasure for us. How does it relate to like what we have been talking about, like our life and trying to improve the Yunsan and all that? Well, as I said, okay, you already like have a bad Yunsan or family at the back. You can't do much about it. Even you try to like live a good life, fulfilling and so on, it still doesn't, it still cannot really overcome the problem. It's like too much things going out and too little going in, right? When you have the Tao in your life, you become a Taoist. The Tao gave you the three treasures. Okay, you have a way to work forward to, like a place to go when you die. You have a bunch of knowledge and like magic and skills and all that, right? Tools that you can use to solve problem, and you have the master who helps to guide you. With these three things combined, you can fix your Yunsan problem, because you can now, like, if I have any problem, anything I want or anything I am lacking in life, I can request the Tao to give me that. Like, for example, I'm trying to search for a job, and then it becomes so hard, and like it's very hard to find one that accept me. I can use the magic. I can ask the Tao for help, right? Whenever you do magic, you're like asking the Tao, the gods, for help, and that is already helping you to fix what you're missing in your life. It's kind of like you're patching the holes already, right? So you see, three treasures of a human being: essence, energy, power, potential power. Three treasure from the Tao. Dou Ging Si, okay, the Tao, the content, knowledge, and magic, and also the master. These are the three treasures, right? So one thing that I want to talk about other than this three treasure thing is Samlo. The name of our Tao, Samlo Taoism, right? Samlo, how does it relate to this thing? Well, the three treasure, like why three, not four? All these things fall into some kind of rule, metaphysics, It's like there's a rule in nature. It's all born because of this Samlo structure. Samlo, the best way I can put it is that it's imagine there's an other world, not this one, an other world that is very, very, very ancient, and it doesn't exist in the same dimension as ours. In there, they have their own structure of their universe. So there are three parts to it. In the middle is like a ball, or kind of like a ball of light. And inside that ball of light is actually a world inside that people live in. This ball of light is what we call the Dai Law. Okay, Dai Law is the name. Okay, Dai Law. Now there's a structure that is above this ball, and the structure looks like a bell that is upside down. So imagine the opening of the bell is facing upward. Okay, this is what we call the Teen Law. The Teen Law is like the sky system, and things kind of like in that space, that universe, that space, okay? Things kind of gathers up in the Teen Law and then kind of funnel downward and mixes and such and get processed. And then after it's done, it rains down to the Dai Law area. Then people there get the energy or the essence from the Dai Law, and then new things will be created. So it's kind of like here, we have the sky, and there are clouds gathered up, and then it rains, then we get the water, right? It's a similar idea like that. And then when the Dai Law, people operate the day and so on, and if anything dies, or anything like kind of like they're over, they're done, those things will turn into energy and go into a system below it which is like a bell shape that is not upside down, okay, but it's below that ball of light world. We call that the day law, the ground system. It goes into that system and then it gets processed in there. It turns into all different kinds of things in there. Like it goes there and well, in different layers of the day law, it will turn into different lives. Like whatever energy that goes down, it turns into life and it turns into other things. And eventually it will be inside a world inside that system. And we here are actually inside the day law zone, one of the worlds inside there. So there are other worlds as well. And when we are dying and we're done and so on, we turn back into energy form when we are dead. And eventually, like after a lot of different process, eventually you turn into like what we call a neutral type of energy. And you exit the day law area. And then you go back up and go to the teen law area and get recycled in nature. And then eventually it processes back down to the die law again. In a way, the die law is like a place, a starting point, a starting world that we were all once in. But now it's like you're already in a life that is like, way after that. So eventually you get, cycle and cycle, and eventually you get back to there. So that is like the theory in our lineage. So that's why it's called Sam law, the three different systems, teen law, day law, and die law. Okay? So that is an answer to our disciples. So everything work like teen, day, die, like that. There's like this structure. So how do you apply that to, what we have been talking about, the three treasure and all this other stuff? Well, look, the sky system is like a resource pool. The ground system contains the resource. And then eventually it's the middle of both like that actually blossom and shows the final result. You can see it from this world, okay? Things from the sky, like rain and stuff, comes down to the ground. It gets absorbed, and then eventually it comes back up, and then like water, rain down the ground, absorbed by the ground, and it comes back up, and then it pumps up living things like plants and stuff, and then it grows, it blossoms, right? So the nature's energy also works like that. It comes into our world from the top, like from the sky, and then it enters our ground, and then it comes back up and charge up everything here. So it's like always from the top to the very bottom, and then bounce back up. You can also see the same thing happening with physics. You take a ball and you like drop it like from mid-air, right? That's like the sky. You drop, it bounces to the bottom first, and then it comes back up, okay? It bounces back up. So it's kind of like that. It's always like top, bottom, middle. It's always that pattern, right? So this pattern is what we call the teen day die pattern. Always like that, the Sam law pattern. And Jing Hei San is also like that, right? You have a lot of like those Jing from the pre-heaven, and it comes down to your soul, contained inside your body, inside the ground. It contains inside, and then it comes back up like surface from the inside of you, surface back out as like the final result, which is the final physical result, like how you actually do things to show the power, right? The sky, the pre-heaven, the Yun San, give us the essence, and then it goes inside of our body, which is the soul. So you see, it goes from the very top, the Yun San, down into the very bottom, which is like the most inside of our body. And then from the inside of our body, it goes back outside to show the power. You see that pattern going on? Okay. Now the same pattern goes to many things. You see, from the outside of a flashlight, and then you put a battery into the inside of the flashlight, then boom, the flashlight can shine light out, right? You can see like that's how things work. You have the outside, put it inside, and then something will happen out of it, right? So simple, right? Our luck, everyday luck is like that too. We invest our whatever things into something, that something gets it, and then the result shows, right? It's like a rule that never change, right? From the outside of YouTube, so there goes my video. I made it. Now I upload into YouTube, and then YouTube plays it back, and you guys get the result. Very simple, right? So this is a nature principle. It's a rule that just like you can see it everywhere. It's like something that never change. Okay, it's evergreen. You know, it's a evergreen rule, and as a Samlo Taoist, we always look for this rule and align ourselves to it, and we make use of it and realize, hey, you know what? If you have been doing something, you invested, and the result is not good enough, what happened? Well, you look at the problem, right? Analyze it. Let's say, oh, how come my flashlight is not bright enough? Is it not enough battery? Like not enough battery going inside? Or there is battery, but the ground, the inside is not strong enough, right? You diagnose the problem. Oh, it's the battery problem. Oh, it's the bulb problem, the LED problem. What's the problem? You can kind of figure out because of this pattern right here. Now, of course, there are many more examples that I can give, but I don't want to go on and on with the same thing, okay? So don't want to bore you guys. Now, one more thing before we end, and this is one very, very interesting thing. I'll see how long it will take me to finish, okay? The Yun Sun. This is the secret because I have discovered it myself when I go do the stuff. And it's not like something you can find on the books. So in the Yun Sun, there are actually something what we call the luck roots. The Yun Sun is like a planet, but this planet has like a core inside the center. And this is like a world inside the world kind of thing. You know, imagine like a cave, right? It's like inside the center of that planet, there's a world in the center that you can go into. And we usually call that the Yun Sun Central. We just made a name for it, okay? So it's like a center core part of the Yun Sun. You can go there, okay? It looked really like a cave, you know, like inside a cave. And inside there, there's a lot of roots-looking things. Well, not really like roots as in like, you know, roots as like a plant kind of root, but they look like roots, okay? So these roots are actually like a network of cables, okay, like that. And they kind of work with distributing things in the Yun Sun world. And, well, it's very hard to like explain everything in one go, but you can imagine like those are like the cable system of your Yun Sun, okay? So these things in the Yun Sun will affect your luck right here. So if someone like can do magic or whatever to damage, let's say, your love luck, then in the Yun Sun, you will have some corresponding root busted or maybe leaking or something like that. And sometimes these roots, they have like a little, how do you say it? Imagine like there's a root, and then in the middle there's like a glowing organ thing inside. Okay, it's like a bladder of some kind of juice, and that thing is actually something important in that root. And if that got busted, it starts to leak. Your luck here drains out, and you will have very little luck in that kind of stuff. And different things like love, career, and health, and whatever, right? Whatever you can think of, they all have their corresponding roots in the Yun Sun. And you can find every root in the Yun Sun Central if you really want to. But they grow out to the surface of the Yun Sun. And on the surface of the Yun Sun, there are like different things growing, right? Like plants and living beings and other kind of weird things going on. So those things that grows out of it, you know, grows out of the Yun Sun, they will show the condition of things. For example, like let's say, okay, you have a forest that is growing and it represents your career luck. And then you go there and you take a look and like, oh, how come the forest is all going purple and all like dying, very dark and stuff like that. Or maybe you see a lot of like bats and weird creatures eating up the plant. Then in this life, like right here in reality, your career might be under attack and it's like in danger. So if you can work on the yunsan to fix that one up, like you can fix the forest, then here your career will also kind of recover slowly on its own because the damage from the yunsan is being fixed. So you and the yunsan is like you're like two bodies, but you kind of like relate to each other, like interrelate with each other. So when you fix this yunsan, the you here will also get fixed. And I have a lot of years been working on other people's yunsan. It's tiring. I don't want to work on it anymore. It's so tiring. But I have went through it, and there are battles done, there are projects done for people, and it like there are results, but it's very tiring. And the funny thing is when you die, and if you're not a Taoist, your ultimate goal is actually going back to the Yunsan, and then you'll be born there. So it's kind of like you're creating a world when you are alive. And when you're dead, you actually go to that world, and there you go. That's what you have been working on the whole life. And if you are not really like giving a crap about it, and your Yunsan gets very, very bad, then you kind of created your own hell. Then when you go there, it's like, wow, shit, like all the monster and crap, like, oh my God, what is going on? It's like a nightmare for yourself. So, yeah, but if it's good, you get a nice world to live, and you live there waiting for a next cycle of life. Now, what happened to the Taoist? Well, Taoist, you also need to go back to the Yunsan, okay? But after that, you get taken care of. The Tao, the gods, and the celestial court will take care of you and transfer you and your Yunsan to another zone, another dimension. And you get to live in where like you're supposed to be. So that's different from normal people. Like normal people, you don't get that kind of thing. So you just stay at the Yunsan and then you wait. But the sad thing is a lot of people these days, when they die, they don't even reach the Yunsan at all, because before they even get to do that, they get kidnapped. You get kidnapped or enslaved by like evil spirits and evil tyrants. So they can't even get back to their home. It's like, well, that's so common these days, but that's how it is, because people are not aware of it and they don't really do the right thing when they die. Too bad. So, yeah, that's a little extra lesson right here. The luck root, huh? So when we talk about luck, it's not just like, oh, randomly, good luck, good things happen. There are actually things in the Yunsan that correspond to your luck. And we can check it up. We can go to your Yunsan and check up the luck and see, hey, how's this luck doing? How's that luck doing? You can check up the roots. And those roots can like show what's actually going on. And of course, you can't just like, come in the lineage and then you say, hey, I want to look at the roots, and then you can look at it yourself. It's not like that. It takes a long time to cultivate, to get there. And also there's a lot of like experience-based things. So you have to like know what these things are. And that took me a lot of years to actually learn everything. So not easy. But there are such a thing, like it's like someone who went to a new world and came back and tell you, hey, you know what? There are things like that in the other world, And now okay, I'm releasing something that is new and discovered by myself. Now, in the ancient texts, there are also texts that talk about similar things, but they are not like exactly the same kind of description as I do. Because, well, we have different ways of describing things. And, in the ancient time, there are like people want to get poetic, and there are ways that they want to write that, it's easier to accept and things like that. So if you don't have a real human master guiding you and teaching you the real thing, and you just look at the books, well, tons of it are misleading because, it's all metaphor. It's all like coded words, and you don't get it. And some of the master don't even put it in the book. Like they only pass it on by verbal method. Like they just tell you. They don't put it on the books. So for me here, I haven't written a book really about all those journey yet, but I'm just telling you right here, right? There are such a thing, and you can actually get there. So your Yun San is a thing that you really need to deal with. You need to care about it. Yeah. And one of my disciples, they have like this spiritual hijacking situation going on. And what happened is someone from an other world, which is like where he was in his like previous life, and that is like your past life enemy, and want to like pin you down after you're dead from that world. So you're here alive, but you were dead in that world. So they want to pin you down, and what they do is like when they do the evil magic to like hurt you, it goes to your Yun San right here. So your Yun San get hit, and then here your life is affected. And this is very common because a lot of people don't realize that they actually have a past life. So, and a lot of people have this impression of like, my past life must be in this world. And the fact is, it's not. Like your past life mostly is in an other world that is not here, not even on Earth. So you see, like some people claim to be, oh, my past life is, something in the Egypt. When you listen to that, it's not really possible. Your past life is not in the same world. We move to an other world when we are dead, not the same world. You don't belong to the same world anymore. So anyway, there goes some fun fact. And I don't know what you guys want to listen to for the next show. So if you have suggestion, feel free to comment below, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.